Hey everybody, welcome again to GRIMMCon. My name is Harish Kumar, and I am thrilled to be up here as a first-time speaker. Now, I may be new to this, but I am excited to share what I've learned about this fascinating world of metadata, and hopefully, we'll all learn something new together today. Just something about me. After 4 years of working at the help desk, I realized that my true passion lies in this awesome field of cybersecurity. Now I'm determined to make a bold move and enter this exciting field, leveraging my experience and skills to protect organizations from cyber threats and ensure that their systems and data remain safe and secure. So before we dive in, I just want to set the tone and expectations for my talk. Think of it more like you're chatting with a friend who heard something really interesting and wants to share the basics with you rather than an expert giving a lecture on the subject matter. So get ready to sit back, relax, and let's have a casual and fun conversation about metadata. So before we move on, this talk is directed towards towards anybody who uses mobile phones and PC, so which is probably 99% of the people in the world. So this is just so for people who don't know, OSINT means open source intelligence, which means we gather intelligence, like information, using open source. So that is just information that is available public, which is most of the information, by the way. That's, I mean, you look at one profile in social media, you get to see what he's gonna eat in like the next hour. It's that crazy. So yeah, and metadata is a part of OSINT. So to make it more easier, OSINT is like just the first part of any heist movie, right? So where the gang, they try to steal a bank or something, or I don't know, assassinate a person. They get to first do reconnaissance, right? They gather information and like go around, follow that guy or something. So that is kind of what OSINT is, but more legal. Since it's open source, since it's public information, I mean anyone can see it. So yeah, metadata, this is an interesting topic, guys, that everyone needs to be aware of. I believe that the topic of metadata is underappreciated in the online world. So we start with a quote before we move forward. So yes, metadata is the unsung hero of the digital age. It's like the air we breathe. We can see it, we don't really think about it, but we can't live without it. So what is metadata? Although data about data is the shorthand description, there is more to it than that. In other words, this is information about other data, not the content. For instance, if you were to take any image file, so here metadata would deal with the date and time of the photos captured, as well as the type of camera and location where it was shot. So it doesn't have to, it doesn't deal with the content of the data, but the data referring to that. So the data associated with that, right? And common misconception, usually metadata is associated with image files, photos, dumps, but it's actually there and it can be found on any data, any files. Let's say Word document, PowerPoint presentations, audio files, video files, etc. So that is what this slide is about. So as we can see, photos, you could the common metadata tags you could find out the camera model, lens type, geolocation, and lens type, all that, and the audio file that could entitle the production details, like the duration and other art, like who and stuff, and the documents can contain the author information, page count, summary, so all that stuff. And these type of data can be easily extracted from a file. You don't need any special skills or something. And that's what I'm gonna show you, how it's easier to find stuff. So I have actually, so I've seen from me playing detective in my free time with my friends' documents. So they send me resumes to like edit and stuff. And I have seen, like, I play with them, like, to look at the metadata and stuff. And I see a lot of information that I shouldn't have seen. So when people work, when people edit or generate resumes and other documents and stuff from their work computer, so this also has metadata, right? So your computer, which is your work information, where that profile information that gets stamped onto these generated documents, such as email addresses and user IDs. That's so doing this, so editing this on work computers is not really a good idea. And this information can be recovered by those who are interested. So what causes this to happen? So once a program is installed, we provide it with our information. For instance, say we use Microsoft Word for resumes, right? And we, on our work computers, we log into our Office account. And we, so any files that have been generated by these Microsoft Word, all the documents will have this metadata, or your work profile information as its metadata. And yeah, the software does this on its own. We can't really do nothing about it. It is, and why does this happen actually? So it is actually very necessary. It's crucial for the internet. So to include metadata with your documents before publishing them online. So when someone searches, they can find your documents thanks to the metadata. In actuality, metadata is a crucial component of the modern internet. To put it in simple terms, imagine you're in a library with like millions of books, right? Without metadata, it would be like searching for a needle in a haystack. But with metadata, you can find the book you're looking for in seconds. And how do we look? How does one look at a metadata? Well, then there's EXIF tool. So there are so many tools out there, but my favorite one, hands down, is this. So of all the tools, this was the easiest to use. Also, this tool goes well with the Windows systems, and I will show you why that is. Let me give you a walkthrough. Right. So I have this random folder here, and I got some pictures. And meet my feline friend Jill here. Right. So let me look. It's the same pic. Yeah. So I've got the EXIF tool installed here. So all we need to do is just drag this image and drop it on the EXIF tool. And voila. So it's that simple. You don't even need to install the application. I have just downloaded this file, like the file from the internet, from their official file, and that was it. So we get to see all this information, right? From the file extension the all the pixels, data, encoding, image size, all that details. Now let me show you another one. So I got this picture that I took in an airport terminal. So let me just drag and drop it here. And there you go. As you can see, it shows the country of where I took the photo, and you see the time zone here and the date and time it was created, and even look at it, even the time and the model, the full model, the camera model. That is some pretty cool stuff. Like, I mean, imagine if you're if someone sends you an image and you can just see all these details to show. Pretty cool. And imagine, so if you're actually there at some point and your friend asks you to send an image to show you that you're actually there, and you can send this, and if they could just look at you, look at the metadata, and just, oh, you're not actually there. See, I mean, the applications we could think of, mind blowing. So this drag and drop feature is, again, it's available only on Windows systems as of now. And for Linux and Mac OS, you could use the command prompt to access it. Let me show it in the Windows itself. So I open command prompt, CMD, and I just type in exif tab and the name of the file, let's say airport terminal is my image, and enter. Yep, shows the same thing. So this is a very easy way to access exif tool. And this, like I said, metadata is everywhere. Like, it's not just on the images, but see, I got a random video over here, and I just now drag and drop this. Yeah, as you can see, you see all these different information, the date, the time that it was created, and the genre. Ooh, we got GPS coordinates. That's pretty cool. I mean, think of it as from the law perspective. This is how I've when I've done this research, when I did my research on this, I've seen so many cases where they have solved using metadata. So forensic people love this. I mean, even like everyday day-to-day person can, start using this. And I got a PDF file here. I just got this regular old PDF, and I just drag and drop this here. Here we can see all these data, file size, and the author who've done this. And every metadata also has this, or the computer name. So I have just saved it as me here, but people save their own name as their, like, the computer name. So even it shows like the folder name and users and all that. Even that is considers that as a confidential data. Like, if you want to confirm if that's the person who's sending you this, they could just look at the computer name. All right, now we move on. So without EXIF tool, we could actually look metadata like with just our Windows system. So let me just go into that folder. So we're now here, just right click on any file and go into properties. On older versions of computer Windows, you might find properties here. Properties, and you click on details. Here you could see all these information. Right? It's all the same. Yeah, that is one way to look at it, more easier way. And then there's web-based tools too. They're more user-friendly, easier to use, and they actually quite provide you more features than the software ones. So I've actually got 3 websites here, and all tried and tested. They all do great. So I'm going up with photo forensics, my favorite, and you just upload a picture here, which I've already done. So as you can see, it actually provides even more forensic stuff. Like, if you can see if the image is altered or doctored in some way, and if you click on metadata, it'll show you all these different metadata, and it also gives you a neat little map to check onto with the GPS data present on the photo. But it does raise concerns, like, so there's no guarantees that it isn't stored since you're uploading the file on their server, and there's no guarantees. And some of the websites or some of the times we actually know if they're saving it or not. So for example, just as metadata, if I go into digest, it provides you all these with MD5 and SHA-1. These are some encryption algorithms. If you actually look at the URL here, this part matches the SHA-1 hash here. As you can see, it starts with 18B0EF, 18B0EF, ends with 01D6, 01D6, and the last 3993034 is nothing but the file size. So if I actually take this URL and send it to someone, they would actually be able to see this page, right? Which means the photo is actually saved. So pretty weird. So if you are working with more sensitive photos, and yeah, you might be even violating laws here, like here. So be mindful about that. Now, how do we remove metadata? We've seen all like how to look into it. There are different ways to see, but how do we strip it down? It can be removed in different ways. The simple way, the most simplest way with no softwares or features is we have our friend Windows has an option. So if I want to say, so I'm just going to right click on this. We go into properties, click on details. Here, all these data, if you click on this remove properties and personal information, here you can see all these metadata present. So you just check this boxes and click on OK. It will remove. You can either remove the properties like from the original file, or you can create another copy with the properties removed. So that is a very easy way to do that. And we can also use exif tool using command prompt. We can delete metadata. So companies save all this metadata, not just metadata, all kind of data. Metadata is one huge part of it. So there are someone called data brokers, and these are the companies that deal with all these, handling all this data. And these are some big companies. So yeah, remember when I said metadata is essential for the internet to work? So these are the companies that collect consumers' personal information and they resell or share the information with others. And I would recommend watching John Oliver's take on data brokers, which is available on YouTube. It is a real eye-opener. So with big companies like this, data gets leaked all the time, either by a breach or requested by law or someone who just wants to make quick cash. Like even though it is not our responsibility here, there are some small steps we can take, like using privacy-focused browsers, like then turning off the tracking feature, which is natively present on iPhones. So like as I shown here in the image, find the setting and turn it on. Turn it off for iPhone as quick as possible. So for Android users, you could they have this option in browsers. So I also came across how ChatGPT was using metadata to really tune itself. Well, OpenAI's ChatGPT, unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard of it or used it, staying up all night like, with loads of caffeine in your body, trying to trying to find different versions of how the Friends show like ended. There was some dark. I really saw some dark endings. Jeez. Well, those are some typical examples of what people do out there with like ChatGPT. So metadata actually plays an important role in the training and fine-tuning of ChatGPT, allowing them to allowing them to like understand and generate human-like language in a variety of contexts and situations. And another one is steganography. Steganography is the practice of hiding information within other information, such as hiding a message inside image or audio file. Well, steganography is not directly related to metadata. It can be used in conjunction with metadata to conceal the existence or content of a message. So let's say I'm having a transaction with my friend, and I could send the image with the metadata stripped out and change the GPS coordinates of where that person's going to be and change the author of that person who he's going to meet and the price in another category of of price that I'm gonna the amount of money that I'm gonna give if he shakes his hands with that person. Stuff like that. And for others, it's just me sending a picture. There's nothing you can see on it until you see just the metadata. So these are some of the applications that you could use it for. So these are some of the new snippets that I found regarding data breaches that had happened. And these are quite big. As you can see, the volume is pretty enormous. We're talking about 7, 8 figures amount of data here. So yeah, when the data breach happens, it's big. So also recently I came across this interesting story on how file cropping, like when you crop an image and you like send it to someone, like you don't want that part of the image to be shown. So you don't actually overwrite or delete anything from the original file. It just changes the pointer on where the end file is. So this is the same concept as how people can recover files from an empty hard disk. Like when you delete a file from your hard drive, you don't actually delete the file itself. You just delete the pointer where the file is located. And I think that story was recently on Google Pixel phones. So yeah, which I kind of found in one of the Simply Cyber's daily cyber threat briefing. You should definitely watch it. It's very interesting. Yeah, so with all these metadata, can it be encrypted? So as with technology growing and encryption being added everywhere, is that one for metadata? Well, unfortunately, no. Since it's an essential for any application or website to function, it is a developing technology. Well, VPNs do help with blocking certain metadata like IP addresses, but that's as far as we can go. So all this points to the burning question: how do we protect ourselves? We saw different technologies from the beginning. Unfortunately, there is no single solution. This is where defense in depth comes into picture. For people who are hearing for the first time, we layer defense in depth is a concept in cybersecurity where we layer different technologies and stack it up to strengthen the defense instead of relying on one. So hence, if one fails, we got other layers to protect, reducing the probability of failure. Well, in this case, we start with a good VPN of your choice, and then security-focused browsers like Brave, Firefox, and then there's one just released, which I'm playing around with, called Molvat browser. It was created by the Tor people. For security enthusiasts, browse using Tor network like full-time. Then for social media, use apps like Signal instead of WhatsApp. Even though your entire family is on WhatsApp, just ditch them. So use encrypted email services like Proton Mail. If you already have a Gmail account, like as 99% of the people in the world do, sign up for a secondary email for sensitive use cases. So some of the key takeaways from this video: metadata is useful for some people. You can use it's whenever you take a photo, you people often update and they correct those metadata in order to have like a folder type segregation, like bookkeeping kind of stuff. It's good to have those. And so we have many tools that can change the metadata easily, as we saw. We can add useful metadata after a file is created, and this information can be leaked or discovered in metadata. So if you want to send an image to someone, please take a look at the metadata too. And always remember, metadata can be falsified. And since metadata can be altered, we should not trust it blind. So I have added some links to some articles and videos mentioned in this talk and references I used for my research. So as I conclude my speech on metadata, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking note. So the vast amount of metadata generated every day is a double-edged sword. While it can be used for good purposes like improving search results and enhancing user experiences, it can also be used for more nefarious purposes, such as tracking our every move, invading our privacy. In the wrong hands, metadata can be used to track our every move, analyze our behavior, and even manipulate our thoughts and beliefs. Well, however, with great power comes great responsibility. Let us be mindful of the power of metadata and ensure that it is used ethically and responsibly. The future of our digital world may depend on it. Thank you. And I'm done. Oh, please feel free to ask questions. I will try to answer with everything that I know. Thank you.